Today is a very special day, marking LittleBigPlanet's 10th anniversary, at least for the UK release. 10 whole years. Wow, I don't even know what to say, but it's just unbelievable. I've been playing the LittleBigPlanet series since I was 6. In this video, I want to thank LittleBigPlanet, specifically 2, for the great times I've had, and explain why it and the series is my favourite game and series overall. That's quite a bold statement, though I will of course justify it as this video plays. To begin, let's cover how I originally got into the series and why it's my all-time favourite. Please keep in mind though, to preface this video, this is not a review of LittleBigPlanet 2 or any game in the series, or any spin-off. I will definitely review the game at some point in the future, but this video will just be focused on why LittleBigPlanet 2 is my favourite game of all time really. With that being said, let's go all the way back to the start. I first played LittleBigPlanet all the way back in 2013, nearly 8 years ago. The days when life was much simpler. I just spent my days either playing on my DS, or alternatively the Wii and my PS3 when I visited my granddad's. Playing LittleBigPlanet back then really was magical, you know. I mean, playing even my DS sort of was looking back, but nowhere near as magical as LittleBigPlanet. A main factor of this is because of its limited availability. No, this wasn't some game like 3D All-Stars of course, but I mean as in I could only play it when I was at my granddad's, which wasn't all the time, because it was only usually over the school holidays, though also some additional times such as birthdays on some occasions. LittleBigPlanet was only upstairs after all, and at the time, I of course wasn't the best at video games, but I definitely had all my interest for the games back then. I'd be excited to play them since, as I mentioned earlier, the Wii was here too. Though the thing is, we didn't have any super enticing Wii titles. Sure, we had Wii Sports, which actually when I was younger, I hated. You may be thinking, whoa, Mega hated Wii Sports? But it's just because I just thought it was too formal, boring, and overall just lacking in comparison to Wii Sports Resort. I absolutely adored the Resort game, but I won't get into the Wii too much in this video, but what it boils down to is not having games that constantly brought you back with some sort of goal. We had titles such as Wii Sports and Resort as mentioned, Wii Fit, and a few other random titles such as Up and Carnival games. Disregarding maybe Up, you can definitely notice a similarity. Though more often than not, me and my sister would head over to PlayStation 3 and boot it up, while always hearing that classic beep and the loud internals of the system booting up.
I present to you your pod. Oh, for the... Why does this... I present to you your pod.
As you just read, I instantly fell in love with this series when I first played it. Now, this wasn't because they had stunning graphics at the time which impressed me, how good the game design is with the difficulty curve of the original, or maybe even because of the level design. No, I loved this game from the get-go because of its multiplayer, and how the game was so silly. Allow me to elaborate. Of course, I adored playing games with my sister. We disagree now and then overall, but it was fun to just spend time with each other. and a game where we could play together at the same time, interacting with each other to do things like dragging each other around. That was perfection in my eyes, and exactly what little old me at 6 wanted. Just a fun game I could play around with my sister and mess about in, and each title offered this. 1, 2, even karting you could argue, with bashing into each other's carts, which I actually didn't really do a ton of, but it was still there if you wanted to. This perfection of a game definitely added to why the experience seemed so magical. We both knew how to play the game, but would always get in each other's way, specifically I would more, just for the fun of it. The limiting factor, the perfection of the game and the gameplay, playing with my sister, it was just amazing. What was even more magical was specifically the second game, LittleBigPlanet 2. So you may be thinking, if the reason I enjoyed LittleBigPlanet so much was the multiplayer and messing about in it, then why was LittleBigPlanet 2 the one that stuck out as my favourite among them specifically? Well, it was just the perfect sequel. I might make a video on LittleBigPlanet 2 being the perfect sequel if you're interested, but I checked out this video from Blazing Victini as it fully illustrates how LittleBigPlanet 2 is anything and everything you could possibly want in a sequel, tripled. It's truly amazing. Though to sum it up for here, Media Molecule knew just how great LittleBigPlanet was and how much people loved it, so they kept it as a basis to work from. There's nothing you can do in LittleBigPlanet that is impossible to do in LittleBigPlanet 2. They just gave us a whole lot new to work with. Lots of technology related things, which honestly made the most sense. This whole game is just a lot more futuristic, modern, than LittleBigPlanet, the first one. LittleBigPlanet seemed a lot more homemade and personal. For example this. In LittleBigPlanet, the camera is closer to you when you're using the pod computer, and overall the pod feels a little smaller than future games. Then, in LittleBigPlanet 2, the camera is a bit further back, and the pod is a bit bigger. And it feels like less of a personal experience. Usually I'd see this as a bad thing, but LittleBigPlanet 2 still has all of the magic of the first game, just a little less of a handmade charm per se. LittleBigPlanet 2 became my favourite game even more after a certain game was released. This video after all is why the second game is my favourite, so I might as well at least mention it. So, LittleBigPlanet 3. People who aren't even as invested in the LittleBigPlanet series anymore, or not even to begin with, know that the third game was a rather controversial one. There's the people who hate it due to the glitches, bugs, connection issues, the disconnect between PS3 and PS4 versions players. Some may even hate it because of how much it was changed with just 3 new characters all of a sudden, and some more things. Then there's the people who love the game, love all the new characters, new mechanics, and the much more advanced create mode. The create mode went from, officially, not through a glitch, supporting only 3 layers, now all the way up to 16. There's undeniably a lot more to do in the create mode, but the story mode however is kind of leaving many people, including myself, to be in a mixed opinion of this game. I have the PS3 version, which from my research is surprisingly more stable than the PS4 version, without any profile corruptions or anything, though a lot of the glitches and overall buggy experience is still here. This is why my opinion of the game is so mixed. While the create mode is undeniably just straight up better than any version of it prior, even in LittleBigPlanet 2, but the whole game, with the bad online, the glitches, and the overall just buggy experience, and the kind of meh story mode, it just brings the game down. With all this said though, there is one thing that every LittleBigPlanet game has: online. You can play with other people online, with a group of 4 people all together. Although I've been playing LittleBigPlanet since 2013, I hadn't played online ever, like not even using the PlayStation Network for any other game, until around 2017, so I think someone else could cover it a bit better. Who better than Cabinfever? He's a big fan of the series too, and he's played a lot more of the online than me. Take it away, Cabinfever.
I think at its core, LittleBigPlanet is one of the most creative games ever dreamed up. The first and second games became instant classics as soon as they hit the market, and for good reason. These games honestly felt like passion projects created out of sheer love for the art of game making. And while the somewhat mild sales of the PS3 hindered the game's ability to create a community, it didn't stop a die-hard cult audience from forming for the game, one that is still active to this day. The story mode is an extremely compelling part of the game, but the level creator remains a standout feature. The devs were in no way obligated to make a level creator for this game, but they did it anyway. This decision to include a level creator no doubt elevated the game from a charming 2.5D platformer into a full-blown community. I got a PS3 on Christmas of 2010, and with it came a copy of LittleBigPlanet, which is where kid me found my next obsession. I played LittleBigPlanet 1 non-stop, immersing myself in the story, the world, and the characters inside the game. I played it when I woke up, and I stopped playing it when I went to sleep. When I went over to friends' houses, this is the game we'd play. There was definitely something about the game and all the things it had to offer that drew me in. And for about a month, this was all I was using my PS3 for. That is, until I was made aware that the second game would be coming out on the 21st. To my knowledge, this is the first game I bought on launch, and when I got home and I popped the game in my PS3 and powered it up, I found the online portion of the game. Playing levels created by others was the thing I did most in LittleBigPlanet 2. The creativity that the devs put into the creation of this game was channeled through the levels that others created. The versatility of this level editor was truly displayed through this community. People made different game modes, fan levels, extremely well thought out and executed ideas, or just whatever they wanted to create. I remember spending a lot of time just searching for a game or TV show I liked and finding hundreds of fan-made creations centered around these things. This was really the first exposure I had to any other group of people online who shared an interest with me, and I have to say it was a good one. Through one addition to an already very polished and complete game, I found a lot of extremely genuine people and made some friends. And to a loner kid without a lot of friends at school, having a way to meet people from all across the globe was a truly magical thing.
I'm a very creative person, though from what I've discovered, I'm most creative within strict limits. This would explain why I like video editing, as although there's a lot you can do in an editing software, it's a lot more straightforward than say drawing a picture for example. I also enjoy building levels in Super Mario Maker for 3DS, yes I played the 3DS version, and Super Mario Maker 2 on the Switch, and then you could also argue LittleBigPlanet on topic. I just love making things with a limited toolset. It's just my vibe. And in a way, it's kind of how this channel started off, eh? Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. LittleBigPlanet means so much to me, and although it isn't my usual style of content, it truly means a lot if you stuck around for this whole video. An enormous thanks to Cabinfever for helping out with this video by talking about his experience with the online. His channel is the first thing in the description below, and you should definitely check him out. I'm blown away by how well edited his videos are, and it's truly the level I'm striving to get by at the end of this year. He's really underrated, and from how much effort he puts in his videos, so if you enjoyed his segment and you really like my videos, you'll definitely enjoy his. Again, a link to his channel is the first thing in the description below. Thanks to Cabinfever for helping out with this video and making it so much better, and thanks to you the viewer for watching. I might make more videos like this in the future, as this was genuinely fun to make, and I kinda like video essays. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!